Ladies and gentlemen, I am Sino. Welcome back to Neurostrike. Today, we have Reality versus UltraLight for you today. Two teams fighting in the playoffs, and whoever will advance will head on to fight against F5 in the quarterfinals. So, with that being said, that only means this is going to be the first round of the playoffs, and it will be quite interesting if I do say so myself. New ban system means 2 bans initially for either side, and once you approach that halfway line, we get 3 bans done for each side. Looking today for us, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 maps. As you can see, it'll be Clubhouse, Nighthaven Labs, and Layer as the last one. Let's take a look at that map that's ahead of us for the first day. Might also have a rehost in a couple of seconds here because one guy does have illegal skins on, and I'm kind of interested to see who is going to care, or if these guys are going to care. The question is, are they going to care that much? And it is a rehost, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back after a swift break, and quick apologies for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but without further ado, they're getting the bans. We just have to make sure they are all the exact same. And then without further ado, my stupid face will get off of your screen, and there you go. They got it all right. So let's try this for a second time. Clubhouse, the map of the day, and the first one first and foremost. First site, ladies and gentlemen, will be the collective gym and bedroom. Now, this site can be played many ways. You could bring that Azami and play her off of the bed, which we are not going to be seeing today. You could also just set up the site completely and hope for the best that the attackers don't play external for the whole round. Because once you lose that control of those outer windows, you're going to have a problem to deal with if you can't contain yourselves in terms of controlling that logistics area alongside with the CC and cache area. Because once you extend out, once you extend and have that grasp on that second floor of the map, then you can genuinely have a good hold, a grasp on what you're doing, and be set up correctly. And now, it's all about the first impressions from the attackers as well. They have that Blackbeard. They also have the Spear entry as well coming in from the Blackbeard paired up with the Ash. It's all about their first entry and their impressions on us as well. Both of these teams will be fighting to go into the next round, which will be the quarterfinals. So you can say it's the first real round of the playoffs. Round one is to get rid of those teams that are just going to fall oh so short of actually competing to go somewhat into the playoffs. First blood in favor of Civies. He'll take care of Punda as he now relieves the pressure coming in from the garage. We talked about that spear entry, and now that spearhead, that arrowhead has been completely dulled out, as now you've lost first blood. But now an instant refrag will get Milo taken care of. It'll be the Jaeger traded up for the Blackbeard. I mean, it isn't of the same utmost importance, but still having a 4v4 is definitely better than staying down a body. Minute in, 2 casualties, and the defenders look like they're going to go for a little bit of a reset. You still have that man playing close on construction from anybody waltzing on in to CC, and nobody playing off these highway windows yet. The drones, one of the most essential pieces of utility in this game, and Yelves doesn't need eyesight to be able to try and deny this breach. As now, that'll be a second successful bandit trick, as Thermite no longer has any more exothermics. You're going to have to try to rely on the play off CC here, and Civi's just going to make matters worse. 2 bodies claimed, and not a single tap of hell taken care of. There you go. You've ticked him off once, but you don't have a response to the fact that he has relieved the pressure coming in from CC and Cash this whole round. 90 seconds left on the clock. I mean, the zombie would have been very, very helpful on this couch area, but he's just taking a sweet old time. The attackers do have a little bit of pressure starting to build up on their execute, because once they realize that they're going to have to funnel in from one area, they don't have the control of logistics and that breach on Jacuzzi. It's going to become a problem. But full construction control is there. They're looking to continue and push on in. Logistics looks to be the next on the chopping block, but he is going to have the brutal realization. There's a man sitting close to the shotgun. Flash doesn't affect him. He will use that shotgun. That'll be the first down. First man is going to be relieved off of logistics, but there is going to be a second knocking on the door of that rotate. 50 seconds remain, and now, reality, you're finding yourselves in a very, very bad spot to try to come back from. Even popping that gas canister, once it blows up, it becomes a temporary volcan. There for a couple of seconds, it will burn way faster until they are able to walk in. 35 seconds remain. Beautiful bulletproof camera will give them the intel needed, and it cannot be shot out. It's protected by that frame. Civi, his laser shows exactly where his spot is. If anybody's watching his cross, it should be an easy kill. But as it stands right now, the attackers need to be able to build something up here from logistics as they stay on the close lines of the man sitting in logistics. And Civi, the man himself, swings anything and everything. And if I'm not mistaken, that's 4 kills next to his name. What a round, and what an initial swing out the gate here from UltraLight, as they are starting to show us why they are the ones that want to progress. Now, this is the first map out of 3 potential maps. So, you still have so much space to prove yourselves. You still have to show us who can endure longer. but it's all about how you come out that first round and show us what you are expecting of yourselves and your team. And right now, UltraLight with that round have showed us that they don't even want Reality to get in the building, as we see 4 kills oh so fast by one man, especially when it comes from top garage, from construction. I mean, he got kills in every single stage of the round, whether it was the first minute, the second portion where it's between that 90-second to 2-minute area, and that below 1-minute mark. I mean, Civvy is starting to tear it up, and now Reality needs to be able to shut him down before he continues to reap what he sows. Paragon Elite coming in from Valkyrie. I mean, biggest scam I've ever seen, 50 bucks. You'd have thought the gun would be shooting for you. But as it stands, you'll have that Valk on the roam. You will have that Blackbeard yet again, looking for entry on that uppermost floor in logistics. Looking to get lucky here. They will send on the drones in, and it looks like a top down here as they look to clear out one by one. The fact that they have the IQ is beautiful, because now you can find anybody on their cams when you're playing Vert, and also a better advantage is you can find the Valkyrie cameras and the Electric Claws. But the placements are actually elite, and anybody that goes out of their way to get that one in secret might risk getting their heads chopped off here. Valkyrie now is going to be on the front lines of having to clear out this Blackbeard and anybody who surrounds him, as now you're left all by your lonesome in construction. You're going to have to look for that next step. A minute burned off the clock, and they're going for that roam clear. They know exactly where this Valk is. Was going to be knocking on the doors of construction, but will run away. Holy shit, never mind. Take all my money. 50 bucks, definitely worth it. As they chase down the Valkyrie, Ungi is going to get chased all the way back in through secret, as now that is a very successful roam. Not a single shot was dealt towards Ungi. He shot the IQ once and now is back in sight with a C4 in hand and ready to play verticality. 90 seconds remain. They haven't opened up the hatches. They haven't even started working the vert yet, meaning they're going to be put in a little bit of a pickle here when they have to get to addressing this site head on. IQ is going to start and purge these cameras out of sight. But the question is, how are you going to be able to open up these hatches? You only have no can openers left, as one of them was used on dirt. And Thermite looks to open up these exothermics. But now, Tabaro might be a problem here, but Kaid isn't tricking, and Tabaro's a ways away from that moto hatch, meaning successful opening, meaning these guys have entry. 50 seconds remain. You guys are getting rushed now to be able to execute. And once you realize you cannot use your utility, you can't drone out within the last 50 seconds without finding yourselves in a rush situation, you're going to find yourselves with a little bit of mistakes on the board here. Spec at 1 HP. That tunnel getting popped, meaning this gas canister is going to push all the access away from Moto and Punda falling first yet again. As Joves is watching that cross from the Fidos at Siege 101. Check the corners and call it a day. But 30 seconds remain. You've now lost first blood and your entry is no longer there. The case carrier is all the way upstairs. And as this clock continuously runs down, you don't have an answer. All of these angles are being held. It's all about that tip, that spearman who looks to just walk in and try to take their gunfights head on. But with these Vulcan canisters burning and Punda and Joves just absolutely getting terrorized, it becomes a problem. Ungi gets a refrag. We're left in a 4v2 situation where they look to make that rotate, but you haven't checked the corner. Beautiful shots from Milo to deny the man who's trying to gain access into that site. And that is a second round from UltraLight. Beautifully executed. What a round that was. I mean, that first round was becoming a little bit tricky just because of the things we saw happen on that third floor. If that Valkyrie had fallen first, we would have found ourselves in a horrible spot for these defenders. But she burned 1 minute and 30 seconds off that clock, took her ass right back to site, and from there held out until they were going to play off that utility. And even then, we saw mostly Flames denying the attackers access. The Vulcan canisters, the new destructible ingredient pipe, everything was doing the defender's job for them. And I mean, that's what's going to happen on a clubhouse defensive when you know what you're doing. It's beautifully played out here, and the way that UltraLight is taking their sweet old time to be able to execute every single time to deny is absolutely gorgeous. Jolves just was on the ground waiting for somebody to walk in through the L Hall. And he deleted that Blackbeard, and that was going to be the second fatality in a row where Punda falls first on that Blackbeard. Them being notified, it's Unji. I apologize if I offended UltraLight, but as they will be going to CC, the idea is usually to use two can openers, one for the head holes and the other one on the bottom left for a rotate into the garage. Capitao makes it also easier to flush out anybody that sits on these rafters. But the question is, what are you going to do about the man who sits on lounge? Might be an easy kill for whoever prones and shoots out Milo's toes, but he's a little too fast for that. As these drones will pose a problem if you don't clear them out in time. They will continuously look to clear out the man in lounge, and very successful. Gone 6 paired up with the R4. See the dome takes care of Milo a minute in, and that is an essential piece of verticality taken care of. Gaid tries to catch Zishi off guard and will do so, but will get traded out for the second time of that engagement. He took Spec down a little bit low. He hit him twice, but he took the harder blunt of damage as he went down to 20 HP. Unji now is going to continuously get burned off by these flame bolts, but will hold his ground. He knows there's a cross being held from the CC breach. This is a beautiful clear because there is nothing you can do about that. Punda, successful entry for the first time in 3 rounds as now UltraLight. You guys have to fight your way out of this. Access to site has been granted as now you're going to have to flank. They have coverage almost everywhere, and that is going to be Gaio outside the breach to land the first in a flawless round. What an execute. I mean, it's CC. Once you lose that verticality control, you can kiss any form of the defensive cohesiveness goodbye, as that's exactly what happens round in and round out. In UltraLight, earlier in their group stage games, we did see them do better on their defensive sided areas. Nighthaven Labs, I saw them play once, if I'm not mistaken. They did well on the defensive, but when it comes to them losing that first body, it is going to become an issue for your post-plant scenarios. As it stands, they're going to take care of Castle, as now he is a pivotal operator for any of the sites here. You could bring Castle to CC, Gym, and sometimes maybe even the Arsenal site in the basement. And he can pose to be a threat because of the amount of time he burns off the clock. You give away your position if you want to punch it all 9 times, and if you use a quick breach, you're still wasting that utility. As now they'll head on right back up to Gym Bedroom. This was the first round they ran, and the objective rotation parameter will unlock it for their 4th round defensive. Now, out of 6, they're currently doing well. The worst case scenario is they will go down 4-2 on the switch, but on the halftime of a clubhouse defensive, your main idea is to steal as many rounds as possible from reality. And the best possible case is for them to walk away 5-1 from this halftime. But if we see the fact of the matter where they just can't hold out when they lose that first body, then maybe we're going to see a little bit more of an even halftime. Civi, right back to the first round. I mean, I'm just getting deja vu. Playing on that Goyo where he claimed 4 bodies up here. See if he can replicate it, because he hasn't been able to find any lives on that basement site and on that CC. They look to open up the first breaches, and there you go. That's success the first time around. They tried to open up that Jacuzzi breach the last time around. They even tried to use the flashes to take care of the man playing Bandit, but right now, Jolves is no longer on that Bandit, and it's very realistic if they can shock off this Electroclaw. Kate possesses 1 in a spare and looks to try and play it out here, as now the Twitch drone looks to continue and starve out the utility. a little bit of an interesting comp. They will be running Tachanka as he will be denying top red. Usually it's either a Warden or somebody with a shield up, as they usually play off top red here. But with the Vulcan canister assisting top red and the 2.5 magnification on top red, you'll have an easy play here. But with the full force of these attackers, they are looking for blood. They all want their pound of meat, as now Punda will take care of Unji. That'll be first blood taken care of, and that'll be in the favor of Reality for the second time in a row. They've completely reformed their attacks ever since they won that first round on CC, and it's looking a little bit more different. As now they take their time to execute, they're not rushing anything, and they are not scared of the clock. Although, the way they've been droning out has been a little bit risky. Out of 10 drones, they have so many shot out. They have 4 remaining. They look to utilize them, but the question is, are you going to be able to do it before that clock runs out? Twitch denied of a very, very narrow headshot, but will look to continue and punish anybody who walks into the crosshairs of this Jim Hall. Civi, now located on the flank. The drone saw the backside of him trying to flank, and the question is, how ready are they going to be? Very ready is the answer, as that is Civi taking care of. The 3rd round in a row where he can't find a kill puts UltraLight in a 5v3 situation, and it looks like this is Reality's game. They fell short 2 rounds, and that's all it looks like they wanted to do here. Not looking to mess around. Not looking to play around with losing these rounds on attack. They're here to play, and that's exactly why this is their pick. Cade, 1C4 will be used. That'll be another kill in the favor here of Reality. A response from Spec, as now they're going to try to get that plant down to Borrow. Cannot find. He will down, will not finish. A DBNO, and that'll be Spec to get shot out from the back. That is full sight control here for Reality. I mean, for a team that does not have any drones preset on the site and it's set up on the flanks, they are doing exceptionally well, as they'll find themselves level here as we approach the 5th round. I mean, it's an interesting play. That's what I can say, because the way they've been playing it out, UltraLight came out the gate swinging. They were playing everything. They were running out the clock, and it was looking beautiful for the first 2 defensive. But now, it looks like they've slowed down, and it'll be Reality to capitalize off that round in and round out. Every single time we see them trying to play something, try to do a tactic, it's just not working. They get dissected, first picked, and from there they all fall 1 by 1. And I mean, even looking at Reality, the way they've been playing, they've had 2 games where they've come back from behind. They had 3 matches played in their group stage, claiming 2 wins. I mean, that is not horrible. They have a 33% loss rate, and the difference on their scores, it was really, really close. I mean, you had no OT games in the group stage, which is honestly a little crazy. Your group stages tend to go either a complete flawless, like a 7-1, 7-2, or an OT match. I think I casted 1 game out of 6 in Neurostrike where we went to 7-4, 7-5. So, it's either regulation and OT. In Reality, the way they've been playing, they had a 15-13 score difference, and they still managed to walk out with 2 wins. I mean, as long as it gets the job done is the main idea here. And the way they're playing now is showing us why they had 2 wins. I mean, they were only falling behind Notorious, if I'm not mistaken. And Notorious is a team that knows what they're doing, as they consistently display why they want to be the winners of this league. Lots to be done here for UltraLight. You need to be able to come back from the 2 rounds that you have just given away. You have 2 more rounds, including this one, left on the defensive side of Clubhouse. Until you're going to have to just hash it out on attack until you switch to your own map on Nighthaven Labs. But the question is, what will you be able to do? Because if you lose that first blood yet again, you're going to find yourself in a horrible situation. But putting on the shields, I mean, he's fell twice as first pick as on that Blackbeard for the first 2 rounds, and that became a problem for the way that Reality was playing. But now, losing all of this health, he is going to fall again. I mean, he's just shaving away almost all of his health. That's the second impact used on him. They are looking to use as much denial as possible, but these Vulcans getting popped earlier is actually kind of better for the attackers, as they only burn for 20 seconds, meaning they're going to have plenty of time after they are done to be able to line up and execute. The drones are not as bad as last round in terms of being shot out here, but it's still not great to only have 5 drones standing. 2 not deployed yet. The third Vulcan being popped, and the question is, how many Vulcans did they commit to dirt? As Punda still remains alive somehow, is now below 5 HP, and Civi managed to walk out of that gunfight alive. No Azami has been brought to any site setup except for that CC round, which is a little concerning, considering basement is a beautiful place to be bringing it for that Arsenal corner. Spec on the roam, they have the drone preset on him, as that'll be a G another kill as he'll take care of Spec. Now, the question is, where are the EDDs set up? We didn't get to catch where in the prep phase he was placing them down. Nothing placed on bottom main, and the question is, what are you going to be able to do? First blood for Reality reigns in. Civi claims another one. Instantly refrag. They're going to go for a play here, but AE gets all of his health shuttered off by the Vulcan canisters. 10 seconds left, and Bunda finds a refrag. But after what? You have 2 defenders waiting to get their chunk of meat as you have 5 seconds left. Unji all by his lonesome in the site, looking to stick that plant down and just go for the man who's planting that diffuser. As he plays ring around the Rosie, it'll be the defenders to clutch out the round. UltraLight managing to clutch it out. Monty, just punch him. It's oh so easy. As what a round that is for UltraLight to be able to reclaim the lead on their second last play on defense. I mean, you just can't be giving up rounds like that. You just can't. You guys started off oh so well, but there's just no way we are allowing ourselves to play ring around the Rosie with the man left with a pea shooter in his hands. What a clutch from UltraLight, honestly. That is a round where you say that's well-deserved, but it shouldn't happen in the first place. Reality needs to be able to give themselves that check that they need. Or if you're feeling funky, a reality check. See what I did there? But they got to be able to do something to slow down the way they've been playing. But again, you were coming back from a 2-0, so we'll give you that benefit of the doubt. Interesting shield placement, as it will not go down on top red. I mean, UltraLight as well. You cannot say they've had the best of runs in the group stage, but Reality has definitely been doing better. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'm doing this all off of memory, so I'm hoping my memory serves me right, but UltraLight had 3 games played as well in the group stage, and they had 1 win compared to their 2 losses. Nothing was in OT, meaning they only got 3 points. And I know for a fact it was 8 rounds to 15 because they consistently got 7 forward. If I'm not mistaken, I really hope I'm not. But it will be a problem here if they are going to let that history repeat. I'll have that data for you in a second, but UltraLight, you finished 3rd in the group stages. I know that for a fact. You need to be able to give us a different narrative right here and right now. You're in the playoffs now. You're not in the group stage, which means you can prove yourselves to us. A minute and change burned off the clock here, as now Reality are looking to line up an attack. Previously, they went for CC. Previously, they also tried to go for Jacuzzi. And there were a lot of factors that came into play that depended whether they were going to open up that wall. First, they had a Bandit that denied both Exos, and now they're only going to be facing up against that Cade. One Electric Claw will be shot out, and Kite has to go retrieve the second one to be able to deny this breach. Thermite's going to open it regardless. An angle of doom here, but if AE moves a lot, his position gets revealed, and that's an easy swing if you have that intel. But now, a little bit of a whip here from Unji almost leads to his demise. As the clock continuously runs down here, They are looking for an answer. 10 bodies left in that last minute. Anji with the first. He can whiff on a drone, but not on a bodies. That headshot takes care of the first man. A complete drop into logistics as now Punda. You've been getting fragged out here on the shield ops. You have been taking the brunt end of each and every defensive denial. But now you on a fully automatic is a completely different story. It is guns galore in the site as now it'll be a 3-body count for Reality as now they claim a 1-man advantage. They look to knock on the door of sight, but Civi has a response for that. 2 defenders grouped up on the main stairs. They look to address it head on, and all you have to do is watch that cross, but the fire hydrant allows access into the site. You are going to be planting in a little bit of a risky spot because that C4 on your front doorstep. Denial from Milo. Oh my god. UltraLight for the second round in a row. Keep it on the ropes. 4-2 lead as they'll switch on to the attacking side. With the coming of the switch, the bans will be reset, and you have to ask yourself, Reality, you guys cannot be planting there. I don't know if you guys caught it, but there was also 2 EDDs sitting close on that door. If anybody were to run out of bedroom, that is the easiest 2 kills of your lives. You have to be able to take control of that site. You realize 2 bodies are sitting on the top of the main stairs. Rotate into gym. You'll have the access to Jacuzzi if you can take care of anybody getting aggressive on that L hall. And it will definitely be safer than planting in the middle of the site. Interesting. But, again, I've seen worse on this site. And UltraLight, given that 4-2 lead on the away turf, might be setting them up for some success here. But Reality being given defense on their own game might be able to make that 2-round comeback and go further than that and win the game. As I now will have everything lined up here for you. The first round will be basement here for Reality. UltraLight though, in their group stage, they won once and they lost 3 times as we've said previously. Their first win was an easy 7-1, an easy breeze. And then from there, they fell 7-1 to Soft Noodles, and from there they got 7-0'd by Land of Ooh. I watched both of those teams. You can take care of Land of Ooh if you can coordinate. But the way that we are seeing things fold in this game, the way how we've seen the executes completely crumble from Reality on the attack. I mean, we are just seeing a repetition of the group stages from 2 teams who were sitting mid-table now to struggle with the playoff round. I mean, they're both finding situations where they are choking their executes. Reality, for example, when they were on the attacking, those first 2 rounds, they lost that shield op twice. Since then, Punda switched to a fully automatic and has learned how to actually be effective. UltraLight, when you guys were on the defensive, you guys had a little bit of interesting play. You allowed yourselves to stand in front of this very said door on single lounge. It got gone 6'd out, and it was an easy first kill to take care of the man sitting behind it in CC. And it opened up everything. It was Civi to fall first, and then from there, it was an easy build-up of momentum for Reality. So, as I continue to yap while we wait for an execute to go down, the main idea here for either side is to clean up your defensive and your attacks. Talk to each other. Timeouts are available. It's 1 minute for each team on every single map. You have the ability to do so. Why not prioritize it? And as of now, 7 rounds in, we haven't seen anything quite yet. And that honestly makes sense because it hasn't been a one-sided affair. 5-man bunker left in the site as now Ram will continue to work the vert. The main thing that I'm seeing that is different, we are going to see a zombie on this roster. It's definitely going to make all the difference in that late stage game where you are going to not have to deal about getting shot out from the top of the hatch because you have these Kibas intact. But now, you're going to have to be mindful from when they do get shot out because your ability does regenerate and you might be able to play it out slowly and conserve them for later in the round. Vigil now has walked up and is going to be in Garage and Lounge assisted by the Malusi in the depths of Lounge. They look to have an effective flank. The question is, are there any drones? Everybody here is alive for UltraLight, meaning this may be a very, very easy flank here for Punda as he'll claim first blood of the round. Will be a DBNO, meaning Civi will be down, not out, and a res is going to be imminent. Any C4 tossed up from here is an easy finish, but the question is Mira really going to go for that? The audio not heard, as now Civi is given a second chance at life. Below a minute left, 10 bodies on the board, and this is why I love this game. 10 bodies. The utility is going to be rushed, and so are the executes. Be mindful of your surroundings because you could have some interesting angles held. As now, Punda looks to get very aggressive here. He's called out as that would have been a very unfortunate death. As now, we find ourselves with 20 seconds left and the first blood goes down from an impact. That man was 20 HP previously, and it definitely shows. Flashes raining in. The plant looks to go down as it's a bloodbath from above on site directly. And that diffuser gets denied at the last minute. UltraLight, what you've done previously has just happened to you. That'll be a 1v2. But with no time left on the clock, 1 round left by Reality, as all they needed to do was deny that case, and Malusi rose to the occasion. 3-4. Reality has now closed out that deficit to 1, as now we approach the best part of the game where the deadlock is either broken or Reality pulls off ahead. Just headbutted my mic. What a round and what a game this has been. I mean, I know the chat, I know the predictions were oh so one-sided here, speaking on the results of this game. But right now, I mean, people are saying it's closer than it should be, and I honestly agree. UltraLight have had 35 opportunities to be able to close out and seal round, and they've been just gifting them away. You would have thought they're just goodwill at this point. Lots to be done here. They're just being a charity. They're just giving out rounds for fun. So much left to do here for either side, but Reality managing to find their footing here and capitalize upon every round that is gifted to them. It's beautiful, especially on their map. If they can just win it, then they're going to have a challenge ahead of them for Nighthaven, but it's still going to be 1-0 in their favor. Almost gave me a heart attack. I thought we had another illegal skin on here, and if we did, I would have headbutted my monitor. Is that an elite bear skin? Sorry, guys, I'm just going to have to become an admin at the same time. Just got to zoom in on that. All right, hopefully not. Hopefully we don't have a second rehost. But as of now, UltraLight, guys can't be focused on the skins here. You got to be focused on the game and how we're going to play it out here. We beefing. Stop beefing and play the damn game. Breach getting open here as your spear entry is already below, has opened up verticality from Lounge, and now that'll be the CC wall opened up quite easily. Bandit occupying the Jacuzzi breach and just waiting for that denial. As now, the drone economy is going to be significantly better than Reality. At this state, and at this point in time, if it was going to be Reality on the attack, we would have seen 6 drones shot out by now or even more. So the conservation is beautiful, but the question is, what are you going to do with these drones? As now, you're running out the clock. You're looking to open up the breaches. You've also not claymored out the close areas of the windows, but first blood goes in your favor because you didn't shoot out that destructible ingredient, and it'll come back to bite you in the behind, as you will lose first blood. Waiting for somebody to slap it open. That would have been a horrible situation for the man with that sledgehammer in hand. Spec just got his life saved by his teammate, and now they're looking to advance towards the site. Bodies dropping like flies here in and around the site as gunfights are going to be going in the favor of Reality. 3 bodies dropping for them earlier in the round, but now they managed to pull ahead, and we find ourselves in a 1v2 situation. A complete toss from UltraLight. You had the bodies. You even had the time to reset, execute, and take your sweet old time. None of the above was seen, as now we find ourselves with 25 seconds left. Intel on the man sitting on construction. Shot out because it wasn't placed correctly. And now Mira with no C4 left in a 1v1. Looking to smoke it out. Looking to take your sweet old time. But if she just sprays blindly into that smoke, it's going to be a horrible situation for you, as you're going to need to either stick that plan or isolate the gunfight. Not bait it out. Pros don't fake. Looking to just stick it here, as it will go down successfully. You're going to be put in a horrible situation. You stuck it, but after what? Reality will pull right back into the game here, as they find themselves at level with UltraLight. 4-4 is the name of the game, as now it has started to get real. Tactical timeout is definitely going to be needed. I honestly respect it. You have them, why not utilize them? That is a horrible way to go down. But granted they are on the away turf, it is better, because now you can give yourselves the benefit of the doubt. If you can rob Reality from this specific round, if you can take this one round from them and pull ahead to that 5-4, we're going to be seeing a completely different game. I don't have a listen-in for you right now, but we do have interviews if I'm not mistaken. As of now, though, they just need to be able to play as a team, a cohesive unit. Because once you find yourselves in those 2v4 situations, you guys had the bodies, but what happens when you cannot capitalize? Sticking the plant in the middle of the site here with a smoke grenade sitting in between you, thinking it's bulletproof. This isn't Valorant. An easy defuse here for Reality puts them at that 4-4 level. If UltraLight can just crank out all of their differences, all of the problems and minute details that they've been messing up on, we're going to see this map go in their favor. But the fact that they're on attack is just not going to be oh so pleasant. But they have the ability to make a comeback. So let's just see what they have in store from this round, because it's usually the teams after they take their timeouts, they're feeling nice and refreshed, and they usually pull out on top after that round. This has been, I won't say the most competitive game, but it is going to be one of the most entertaining, because it's just not a one-sided affair. And I mean this in the utmost respectful way, because there is just an even amount of mistakes being made from either side for us to be able to say both sides are making those mistakes, and both sides are willing to try and fix them to be able to come out on top. A little bit of a spoiler, not even a spoiler, something I wanted to kind of hide from you guys until we saw that first result. This is infinite overtime. We are in the playoffs. So if they continue to go back and forth, if we find ourselves at 6-6, we are not stopping. There is a potential 29, 30, 31 round game if we go to OT, which as the caster kind of makes me a little depressed, because as my friend over in CPL likes to say, Mr. Stanley, Infinite OT, fuck that. Nobody likes Infinite OT from the production side. But the players are going to give us so much cinema, so many plays, because it's going to show us who can endure laster and longer than the other. As of now, we have seen no overtime results from either side here in the group stages. They both have won and lost every single one of their games in regulation. So it's also going to be a test of judgment here from either side to see if they trust each other to be able to pull out on top. Approaching that 90-second mark, boots on the ground. First is going to be that Capitao. Unji working his way towards that construction site. They will have a Mira that will oppose them. First gas pipe being popped out, giving away their location here. And the Bandit battery will be that first objective that you're going to have to overcome here. EMPs, no longer in hand. You do have the Thatcher, and he's on the front lines with you. No pocket EMP, so it should be quite easy to open. Unless he's going to be Bandit tricked. And with one battery in hand, it looks like he is going to prioritize that CC reach instead. And I feel like if you have a Mira, it goes to show exactly what they're thinking to do here. That first EMP, the second it comes or rains in, you're going to have a problem. And they're waiting for that EMP to rain in, and that Bandit is a ways away to try to get that down. A complete construction take, looking to load in here. You have that CC control. You're looking to flame bolt anybody playing on the Mira. Perfect execute. First blood goes down, and Guy, you finds himself in a horrible spot here. You still have that control coming in from Lounge. You have 45 seconds left on the clock, and an execute that needs to happen right now. As they look to use every single piece of utility. They know there's a man sitting close. The question is, do they know? Love, denial, that'll be the case down. 30 seconds left. C4 doesn't connect, but now that is going to be panic mode here for UltraLight, as now the man playing denial. Why the hell would you prone? You have completely tossed that element of surprise. 20 seconds left, and now a 4v2 is on our hands. No C4 in the favor of the defenders here, as a 1v4 all the way from the depths of Garage is going to be the case at hand. So many issues here for Reality, and you guys need to be able to just play the clock. I told you, it's always the teams after the timeout to pull out ahead, and that last ban is also going to be just as important, as now Reality is going to have to play a game of catch-up. You're on defensive Clubhouse on your own pick. It's a problem when you can't win those rounds. CC is one of the hardest sites to defend once you lose that verticality control. But you realize that they were coming in from construction. What are you doing to be able to change that? The man prone completely tossed out the round. And let's take a look at that one more time, because he swung out to deny the case and now seeks refuge in the corner. You're waiting to run out the clock. Why in the world would you prone and hold that angle? In what world is that a good idea? And that single-handedly just set up these defenders for a horrible spot. Some Blackbeard action will be seen from the attackers here as we do head on over to the basement. The previous time we saw Reality pull ahead on this specific site with 1 second left on the clock and the bodies down. Malusi just shocking the man planting, and UltraLight was left with 2 bodies standing and none of them with their hands on that case. So, in terms of bodies, UltraLight pulls ahead. In terms of IQ on this site, it's always Reality that will win. Let's see if that narrative will change this round. Now, taking a look at each of the lineups, no Kaid will be provided to be able to deny these hatches, so these defenders are going to have to get a little bit creative, and I think the impact trick is going to be the main idea here. But Dirt, access to Dirt is going to be the main idea here, with that Blackbeard as your tip of the attack. The Spearhead, as he looks to enter first, Wamai. A little bit of an exposed spot here, looking to find first blood, but no connections. And the Finka being brought is a little bit of an interesting shout here, but might be able to play out in the advantages. Now, no Volcans will be set up in Dirt, meaning there is no health to preserve, and she can save up those surges for later in the round. Discs being set. Blackbeard, you got to know better than to just toss out these frags. Looking to burn the first disc and will do that successfully. But these frags are essential for later in the round for getting those executes down. And honestly, just burning them now, getting those discs taken care of, it might be a beautiful way to play out this game and clear out anybody sitting close on AKs. You have coverage and access to the man sitting all the way deep in sight, because that ping is giving your teammates the access and info needed. 1C4 is all you're going to have to try and evade for the post-plant situation and on the verticality. Now, speaking on the terms of sight, a 5-man bunker, how are you going to be able to play it out? Nobody even daring to attempt a flank, but first blood is going to happen on a flank. She sprints up the main stairs, and what the hell did you expect? Executed with a pistol in cold blood as the Surge resets him right back up to full HP. Wamai looking to find a refrag. That's kind of what happens when you leave your shield up all by yourself, but somehow he pulls up ahead. That's an execute in our hands. Joves on the front lines, assisted by Spec. Shut down and executed. C4 successful. That'll be guns galore yet again from Reality. Look at the denial. This is the same thing they did previously, but the gun skill is just unstoppable from the team by the name of UltraLight, but the flank is going to come in clutch. You've rid of the man on the verticality, and you just have to deal with the one on site. We find ourselves in a 1vx situation yet again, but with the tables turned, as now Reality find ourselves in a 5-5 situation. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we're going to OT. Maybe. Don't curse it. All I'm doing is just hoping to God there's no infinite OT. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a game for the ages, and I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first playoff game that has been streamed. We have another one at 9 p.m., but we're already an hour in, and these teams are showing us cinema on end. Gym and bedroom, one of the most intriguing sights we've seen today. And it's been about who can play the time and who can play as a unit to be able to pull out on top. As it stands, it just looks like I can't make a prediction. This game has just been back and forth every single round. I do appreciate all of the follows, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not usually supposed to interact with the chat, but I love every single one of you guys, and you guys are all gamers. Reality. You guys have managed to continue and play catch-up, but can you prevail for one round, one measly round, to try and put yourselves ahead? CC being opened up here because there's only a jammer standing in between. Drones getting sent into the front lines, and Warden with the shield top red. I think it's the first time we've seen Warden with that shield on top red. If I'm not mistaken, we saw him on the second round, but no shield. CC is going to be opened up, assisted by Jacuzzi as well. AE is left with a wire in hand and cannot put it to use. Now, this is looking like a promising attack because UltraLight, again, just using the drones first. They've only had 3 drones shot out after the prep phase in 90 seconds into the round. And even to just the cherry on top, I mean, call this a Sunday, they've gotten 2 kills. I mean, beautiful. Utility, external kills. They are doing the fundamentals of attacking to be able to prevail. And as of now, they find themselves at that 90-second mark with 2 kills in their hands. And to make matters even better for themselves, one of those people was second on the board. They look to advance. One man is left all by his lonesome in CC, looking to one-tap his way out of this. You have so much to do all by yourself, Zishi. You're 10-7. Can you build off of that? Right now, you are getting terrorized on the other side of the map as a flawless round here in response to that denial from that basement site. As now, a 1v5 on 1 HP. The minute 10 left on the clock as Unji closes it out, and we move on to the match point for UltraLight. They're looking like they want to win this, and what a shot that is to close out the round. As now, ladies and gentlemen, no ban phase. It's just going to be a game of pure siege. You're sticking to the bans, and you're going to have to continue and play catch-up. But with the way Reality's been playing, are we going to be surprised if they put this into a 6-6 infinite OT? And if they trigger this, ladies and gentlemen, this map is going to be cinema. One round, 2 possibilities. Infinite overtime or home turf lost by Reality. This is going to be the make it or break it round, and only one team consisted of 5 players have the opportunity to keep fighting for that one map tick next to their names. 5-6 is the scoreline with UltraLight leading. They have now found their footing since the continuous denial of that timeout. They've had their ups and downs. They've had their consistent executes gone wrong. And the question is, can they pull ahead after all of these difficulties? Always the fundamentals here for either side. Open up the breaches, play as a team. One cluster charge is going to be an interesting way to get rid of these electric wires. If one Thermite or one Thatcher is going to bait it out here, the cluster charges are definitely going to do that job. That one explosion is enough, and those breaches are going to get opened up regardless of what you try to do. Two bodies addressing logistics all by their lonesome. They have that flank operator. They even could breach into logistics and all the way into construction if they really wanted to, because they know there's a man here. Any man that drops in wallbangs, that's an easy kill. The coordination, but that'll be the intuition from AE to escape death oh so narrowly. But we saw what happened last time on this side. The aggressive plays is what got the better of this defensive reality roster. They have the verticality. They have everything needed. The only thing that's different is they don't have the mirror because it is now banned. The cluster charges also might be a problem if they get sent in from the CC or construction single breach. The question is, how are they going to be able to play? As a bandit wire will go down, no fuse charge to oppose that. One man and one air jab to watch that rotate, and let's see if they'll be able to capitalize on it. Because now we're below 90 seconds. All 10 bodies remain up, and they are going to look to address that one on. Beautiful entry. Civi walks in. They knows there's no one watching the cross. Anji responds for Punda, and now it'll be Spec who falls in turn for two bodies. AE, man, 2 and 10, not having the best of games, but now you have reality put in a horrible spot. You have access all the way from deep garage, one man from below, but only having one man as the point on site is going to be a problem, because he's left to address that CC breach in the main all by himself. Zishi addressing garage, winning his gunfight, leaving it at level. A 30v3 with 30 seconds left. What more could you ask of from this defensive roster? C4 still remaining. Giyu needs to be able to play patiently here. And Giyu needs to be able to play out his time to play denial on that C4. Love wins his gunfights. We saw what he did before. He made the heroic play, but he just got too aggressive. Now, looking like he's taking that step back. Just run out the clock as Zishi. The heroics from him. 12 and 8. 2 kills this round. As UltraLight, I think we're going to overtime. As the entry from Milo, you'll get one, but you need to find 2 bodies in a heroic amount of time here. C4 getting used a little bit too early, as you're going to be forced to stick the plant here with 2 seconds left on the clock. A man lurking off red, and the other just waiting. The air jab no longer on that rotate, and the double team, they're victorious. Reality, they come back from behind, and we find ourselves at 6-6 on our first game of OT. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, how the night has started. Oh, how the night is started. Bans remain the same, and I actually have not seen an infinite overtime game on the Siege X engine, so I have no idea what happens. If we overcome the side swaps, the question is, will the bans reset? Basement. Oh, how it has all sprung into action. The home turf of reality has now been forced up to OT. Oh, can you do it? UltraLight has continuously heard the music and just blocked it out. Question is, can reality pull ahead for the first time, I think, since the beginning of the game? This is going to be one for the ages. Now, they have the entry. They have that Blackwood. We saw how he was very effective in dirt, but we saw once it came down to playing verticality, they lost the man who continuously tried to flank. No flank watch until they used that 6th pick to get that gridlock on the board. They had 2 flankers. Ishii managed to get shut out, but then you had Punda walking up those stairs, and then that one was lost. I mean, you won the first, you can't expect them to go for 100% on your wins. So now, we found ourselves at a 6-6. This basement has been such a war zone for either side here. There has been a back and forth every single round on this site. Whether it's denial to the last second, whether it's the case getting shot out and the clock running out on these attackers. It's all about the coordination here. If this verticality can get established fully, with Gridlock's track stingers intact, then we find ourselves in a beautiful situation here for UltraLight. Fenrir isolated, no assist as now. He'll just eat the health. He knows it's better than to not fall to the man sitting all by his lonesome in dirt. There's a down. Civi manages to actually land him, and I don't think he knew. But you managed to take Olove all the way down to 20 HP, and you put yourself in a beautiful spot. Did he really think throwing? Well, that's how you don't impact trick. You have to throw it on the shelves to be able to try and get that spread impact damage. Throwing it directly on the hatch is going to protect it from that reinforcement. First hatch on the kitchen will be opened up, and Civi looks to address the first man who will deny his team's access into the site. A zombie sitting in the depths of Arsenal, looking to rotate onto AKs as she's protected by 2 Kibas. 20 HP, make it 1 Kiba. The clock just running down, and first blood goes in the favor of UltraLight, as now Civi is going to be that wedge in between the defensive fluidity within the site. You can't just rotate in and out of blue as much as you want, because the comms are going to go in and out, especially when the man behind him is going to be a gunner. Give the man a shield and a fully automatic AK. He'll just frag out as he'll find the first, looking to find the second. The plant denied. Joel's for 2. 35 seconds left on the clock, and a 6-6 OT is exactly how you want to play this out. That'll be Joel's for 3. The heroics from one man has found 3 kills, and you're looking to deny that plant. Nobody is going to be the wiser of the man sitting above, but Joel's for 4. Call him your holy savior for UltraLight, as now they'll pull on over to that match point. Every time I thought he wouldn't be able to get another kill, he manages to just do it. 6-7, the scoreline. Reality is going to continue to play catch-up, as we have seen them do this every single round. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had just played safe. If we continuously watch them play back and forth, we're going to find ourselves in a little bit of an interesting spot here. But as now, Reality's not even locking in their operators. We are going to find them in a horrible spot, because they didn't even call a timeout. There you go. They managed to get that last second, but they're on attack, so it doesn't matter. While we wait for these guys to drone out this basement site, because it's been an absolute war zone, let's take a look here at the play that has determined the outcome that's pushed us to OT. That game, that round that was before even OT, presented to you by Rogue Energy. The way this was played out, a flawless round here. This gym round established the plays here. It was a flawless. There wasn't even a single man that had to find 2 or 3 kills. The external play fed UltraLight 2 kills, and from there they built it up. They just waited on CC. They knew there was a man sitting on top red and trying to rotate into cash. So they kept that striker on that CC breach and waited for him to try to reset. Got that easy kill, and boom, that's a flawless round for you. Now, it's nothing too flashy, but the best of teams don't want somebody to be too flashy, because then you're relying on one man to get all the kills for your team. Once you play like a unit, once you have that homogeneity in your play, then you know you're a team that wants to win. Verticality established in this site, if I'm not mistaken, has gone in the favor of UltraLight twice, and in the Reality favor 3-4 times? Elite, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. What is he talking about? Nice, and we find ourselves in a rehost for overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after a tech pause, because apparently these guys don't know how skins work. ladies and gentlemen, as I am getting word that the Twitch skins, I mean, they were given 2 warnings on the terms of using illegal skins in this league. So that'll be map 1 confirmed because UltraLight took that match point and they managed to pull off ahead. So it'll be Reality to fall behind 8-6 on map 1, and we will head on over to Nighthaven after a short break. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you thought that was the end. We move on over to Nighthaven Labs for the second map. It will be reality to fall short due to a technical issue. And I mean, oh geez, that is a horrible way to fall short of one map, especially when you manage to play catch up and pull all the way down to that overtime. It was infinite, and it was not very infinite as we saw. Oh man, I feel very bad, but it is what it is. The rulebook is the rulebook, and that is exactly how the game is supposed to be played out. So, bans being completed. UltraLight now have 1 tally out of 2 to be able to prevail further into the round of 16 or the quarterfinal if you want to get all technical. Now, reality, you guys have a lot to do. You have defensive OT, or you have defensive on Nighthaven first and the attacking on the OT side. Let's see if you can prevail and show us why you want to be here longer than UltraLight. As it stands, that is definitely a morality killer to fall first round. You need to be able to come back from that. You need to be able to keep your head straight. And hopefully they'll be able to do so, because reality, I mean, they didn't find a time in that game where they were ahead, but they did continue to push UltraLight to their max ability. We found ourselves consistently finding ourselves with a 1-round advantage, and at max, it was 2. So many interesting plays from either side, and so many errors that need to be polished from either side. So, that just means entertainment as we move on to the home turf of UltraLight. Spawn peek, run out, unsuccessful, but another one from Puna might be able to work out in their favor, as that'll be first blood, and say goodbye to your first and only hard breacher. That's not wasteful fall. Got to be ready. These guys do not look like they've come here to play. They've been gifted the defensive on Nighthaven. Yes, they're not on their own map, but I mean, they look way more hungry than that previous game. First blood aggression. We did not see that type of aggression last time around. We saw late round flanks, and now even the banter is going to rain on in. Punda, if you guys don't remember, was the man who fell first 2 times in a row on entry on Clubhouse. He was on attack on Blackbeard, and let's see if he can change out that narrative, as he is currently pushing for a better score. Boots on the ground here for UltraLight as they look to attack meeting, and hopefully they can find that entry without suffering another fatality, because the can opener is going to be all they'll have to open up that breach. It's better than nothing, but it's also very limited, because once you hop in, it gives away key amounts of utility, and even when you crouch in, it still gives away an insane amount of audio and intel to those defenders. One man sitting close on IT, and if one drone locates him, this is going to be Zishi's demise. He'll be trapped in that corner. He'll have to fight his way out of it. Now, he either needs to seek refuge running all the way over to the utility area of Rafters, or run across and waltz on into the site. As Rafters has not been addressed yet, the mirror will remain intact, and the one in meeting will fall. Below 90 seconds left on the clock, and now these attackers are still starved out at a body, and Unji has the ability to change that narrative. Jaeger giving up his position, as now this clock will continuously run out, and these attackers are going to be located one by one. They're getting a feel of this play. Zishi finds the second pick for his team, and that will be a 5v3 here for UltraLight that they need to come back from. Make it a 5v2. Punda for his second of the round, as he is now punishing anybody who walks into his crosshair. Reality is now giving UltraLight that reality check that was needed, as now you're on your own map, but that doesn't mean you're going to get those rounds easy. A 1v5, and now you either bait or try to pick off these defenders one by one. There's 5 to pick out, and this guy is going to the depths of the gardens to chill, because your whole team's been dissected in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and you have no response, because not a single shot was landed on any of the defenders on the side of reality. Bunda hungry to get his third as he continuously swings out here. Spec adoring the wildlife outside of Nighthaven, as he doesn't have the case in hand and is going to bait out his KD. Friendly banter, and they're looking like they're going to bait out until the clock runs out. And if I'm not mistaken here, they could just be running out the clock so they can talk about what went wrong and not sacrifice a timeout in that process. As they now run out that clock, they wasted about 45 seconds, and they might have had the ability to reset and talk about what's going on. And if not that deep, they were just KD baiting, and that's all right. 1-0 in the favor of Reality as they are now given that easier side of Nighthaven Labs. I mean, this is a completely reformed Reality because, I mean, we saw what happened on the previous map. They were falling short, they weren't even getting aggressive, and they were the ones to respond, not engage those gunfights. And, I mean, especially when it came to flanking. They flanked twice, and they lost both times. Once successful, and other than that, they were getting pummeled. As of now, though, they're swinging. They're running out, and they are not scared of this UltraLight roster. They know aggression is going to be needed sometime, and again, perfect read because you guys are trailing on a map, especially it's not even yours. So let's see if you guys can bring it back. I mean, a little bit of, let's say, interesting mania as either side wins each other's side. Map is going to be a little bit interesting to see once we go to that third map. Layer is also that decider map, which is going to be quite challenging for either side to be able to try and prevail from. Twitchron assisting Civi on his entry, as now this site is going to be the mid floor. They are going to completely abandon that basement site. I mean, you have three options here after you win that second floor. You go to the basement, you go to the kitchen, or you go to warehouse. And now it looks like warehouse is honestly that site that if you can coordinate properly is definitely going to be better than that basement. Maybe they're not confident in the way they play it out here, but the fact that they don't have Kaid and Clash is going to be a problem, and I think they know this. Castle still remaining on the board. That's exactly why he will be brought. Mira alongside as well, but she will not be seeing the day of light on this site. Garage breach slightly opened here by the Salmas from Ace, but UltraLight does not bring two hard breaches. They kind of just bring one and hope for the best. Still lots to be done here, and let's hope they can do it in a timely fashion, because once they find themselves running out of time, we're going to find ourselves in a little bit of a tricky situation. "90 seconds left on the clock. They're taking their sweet old time. It'll be Civi to be the first to make his presence known, and Milo will be the first to fall for the second time. Walking in front of the door, who's there to find that refrag? It's Jones, but he's going to be too late as he will witness his teammate getting executed, and that will be 0-2 for Milo in terms of entry here as Castle looks to find the second. Will connect, and this is a reformed Reality. You were not seeing this aggression previously as they now just look to waltz on in. Oh, check your corner spec back where he's sitting close and looking to punish, as it now becomes a 5v3. Look at that toxicity and that cool last reload effect. A second flawless is on our hands here as UltraLight have taken that one map a little bit too much to the dome, as they are now falling short of every single round and every single play as we find ourselves in a 2-0 situation where there is not a single kill between the 5 players on the roster of UltraLight. C4 pushes them into a horrible spot, and that's a double flawless back to back. And now you guys need to be able to have a response from that, as you guys are losing the grasp on site. Doesn't matter if it's attack, defense, or an evened out map. Even if the dynamics change based on the rounds, the maps, you need to be able to lock it in and see what you are going to do to receive this aggression from Reality. They've switched up their plays completely. It kind of just looks like they don't even care anymore, and that's why it's working out. But regardless, nevertheless, you guys need to take a second, reevaluate what you want to do, and push as a unit. The water bottle does not want to cooperate with me today. A little bit of a different approach here. They'll have Blackbeard as the tip of their entry. Previously, it was Civi on Ash. Looks like verticality will be one of the ideas here for their play, and let's see if they'll be able to do it according to plan, because they've fallen short twice now, where they haven't been able to find success in the way they've been playing out here. The utility, also a very important play of the attacking side here. For a team that's going down 2-0, it's kind of just looking like the roles are reversed, because we saw Reality going down 2-0 on Clubhouse on attack, and they managed to come back. SINOTWTCH finding first blood here, and now we find ourselves in a similar situation to the previous round, as now an Animus attack looks to be the name of the game, as these attackers are looking to get aggressive here. The breach getting set up. They're looking to get insanely aggressive, as Mira and Goyo will be the ones on the front lines looking to address this quite fast. C4 not being set up here, but a Vulcan canister will be. Entry not quite accessed yet, but a minute burned off the clock, and these attackers are looking to build something. Something out of nothing is going to be the narrative of this round, as now you've lost the main man on the verticality. Luckily for you, there's nobody playing above, and that hatch is going to stay intact. Jaws burning that first C4, and Blackbeard to use his shield to be able to ram it out. SINOTWTCH completely unaware that there is a man watching his toes. That'll be half his health shredded off. 4-0 right now, and it looks like he might have had that first fatality on his hands. Silent entry from Civi. Looks to just walk down, and if he can capitalize the man sitting in storage, this is going to be a completely different roster. But again, we're finding ourselves 3 rounds in and not a single kill for this UltraLight roster. Thank God it'll be Unji to find one. Milo for the second, as now it's a 3v2. They managed to reel it back in, but it's becoming a problem when you've only managed to find 2 kills in 3 rounds. You've slowed down. I don't care if this is defensive side. I don't care about the dynamics. You need to play as a team. Call a timeout if it becomes a problem, because you can't even put that diffuser down. 2 picks was all that they were going to find here, as now Reality is looking hungry and happy to take these rounds round in and round out from UltraLight. As now 3-0, and the final bans will rain on in before the switch is going to rain. This is going to be a very, very decisive round, because if we find ourselves in the 4-5-0 area, then we are going to be seeing overtime or a map 3. No timeout is not going, it's not going to be called, and that's a problem. I'm not going to lie to you. When you've lost 3 rounds and you've had 2 kills to show, you need to call a timeout. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, starting to get on yucky territory here for UltraLight. As it stands, Reality have won all 3 of their sites, being 1 on storage, 1 on the upstairs area, and the 3rd going to be on that mid-floor of warehouse. What is UltraLight going to do to respond to this? No timeouts have been called, and the rosters are going to look relatively the same. Although, the Solus is going to be a little bit of a new one here. Let's see how she'll play it out. A little bit of an interesting roam here from Punda. I mean, 2-0. I mean, there was only 2 casualties in 3 rounds. Not much you can criticize here from Reality, but it's also the ignorance from UltraLight that's going to contribute to this. Blackbeard giving away his position, but if it was another man who stuck his face up off of that railing, we would have found ourselves in a completely different timeline, where first blood would have went in favor of Reality yet again. Not a single hard breacher, one of the traditional ones I may say, has been brought, because Thermite, Maverick, and Ace are all gone. You only have the can openers in Habana. And that's something that has been a little bit interesting here with the hard breachers in this season, because now you're going to have to be able to build off an attacking roster with a little bit of an interesting pick in terms of a hard breacher. Habana, her Type 89, doesn't hit as heavy as the 5.56 or the AK-12, but you're going to have to be able to get used to it, because you don't have another option. You can rely on those can openers, but what happens when it gets tricked? Civ looking to find first blood here as he looks to clear the Solus, and first blood is just not going to go in his favor here, as they will stand on the other side of the walls looking to get lucky, but there's going to be no death and no blood spill. You have him trapped in a corner. Civi allows the Solus to seek refuge in the corner, tries to catch her off guard, but that is just going to be an easy waltz up the stair to be able to try to go back to site, or maybe not, as now she'll just rotate back downstairs and continue to be a problem. As Civi gets taken care of here. First blood from the sub offers to find, take care of Civi, and that'll be another one from Love. Now, again, 5v3 situation, no blood in the favor of UltraLight. Oh my god, what are we witnessing? Not a single pick. Love goes to ping the case and still won't fall. Spec gets a kill, but after what? Executed in cold blood in IT. And Jobs left all by his lonesome outside of the connector breach, looking to get lucky. Yet again, bait central, as we are going to find ourselves in a 4-0 situation with only 3 kills on the board for UltraLight. Are we serious? What has happened? Has the ego gone too far? Has the gunfights just completely disappeared? Has the hunger left their souls? As now, this is the story just for one team, and that is by the name of Reality. And the toxicity to just top it all off. I mean, not much to say here, except UltraLight, you guys need a timeout. In reality, keep your foot on that gas, as 4-0 is the scoreline. You did what UltraLight did last game, but better and stronger. If you find yourselves on a 2-round advantage, can you continue to build off of it? A one-sided affair from OT to 4-0. Wow, they really took that skin change personally. As now, Reality look to build off of the 4 rounds already claimed. They find themselves in a 5-6 advantage that it doesn't even matter if we go to the round switch, defensive sided or not. That comeback is going to be either one for the ages or one that UltraLight just cannot make happen. First blood, Punda, C4, rained, not there as it shot at the sky. As we find ourselves with 1 minute burned and first blood taking care of Civi. 0-5, and only 3 players on this roster with first kill. They look to enter. It'll be Unji followed by Jones and the Finka behind. Milo looking to capitalize, but Unji to find first blood. And now, that'll be your castle lost. This is starting to become a problem here. Valkyrie looking to isolate the gunfight. Gee, what the hell are you doing? Bodies finally in the favor here of UltraLight. We haven't been able to say that in the previous 4 rounds, but instantly evened out because he didn't check the corners. Vigil just lurking, and that'll be evened out here as now Milo capitalized on the fact that Whoops is not watching the corners. Verticality is established. Easy plant deny, it'll be successful. Below 90 seconds left in a 2v2 with these attackers looking for an answer with no questions asked is going to be the result. They're walking in, asking questions later, and that's exactly what I mean by it's just answers, no questions. You need to be able to play passive in the times where you find yourselves with a minute left on the clock. No surges, and both of you are at 100 HP. Address the verticality, because now they're both going up, and that is going to be exactly how they will deny your attacking strategy. 3 of you have just fallen from Vert. You've just lost the denial. What did you expect when the bullets continue to fall down from the sky? 5-0. As now Reality called a 2-1 win in the intermission between maps 1 and 2, and it looks like they are going to make it happen as they have claimed 5 rounds without interruption. as I find myself at a loss of words for what we're witnessing here. From OT to a complete... Actually, you know what? We're going to save that saying for this round. Because 5-0, I mean, I've seen comebacks from 6-0. But I mean, UltraLight, they just look like a completely different team. We're not seeing any cohesive pushes. We're seeing first blood. We're seeing 3 people funnel into 1 rotate without any expectation of the man that's sitting close and waiting for them to just walk into their bullets. We had a 1 hour and 20-minute first map, and it looks like the second one is a completely different storyline. Bunda, 50 HP, nothing crazy. The plant is going to go down. They've gone for the chaotic plant. Mira goes down to get that C4. They managed to get the case down. What a denial. Mira is going to go down, finished off, but it just will be Zishi to land these bullets like an absolute dog on the site. 2 kills, one of them on the Monty. Make it 3 as this man is absolutely terrorizing this opponent team. 12, make it 13 kills as he has just terrorized the opposing team. UltraLight to make it 6-0. What are we witnessing? I mean, you just know he's here. He just took care of your Monty. You're 1 HP, and he destroys anybody who walks into his crosshairs. What a round. 6-0, and as I was going to say previously, a complete belt-to-ass moment as Reality continue to lay down what is theirs. Oh my god. The bands reset, and these guys need a response for what we are witnessing. The potential last round of this map has rained upon us, and the question is, does UltraLight have any fight left in them? You're on the defensive, but does it mean anything once you're trailing 6-0? Really? What do you even say to that? The second floor site, the first and maybe very well the last for UltraLight, depending on the attacking side of Reality and how they'll be able to play it out here. One man is negative, and he's 2 and 3 playing entry, and Beck just blew himself up. Apparently, it was the skin that took care of him, and they realized a little too late, and that's exactly what's going to take care of them. A 4v5, 1 more round until you fall. Aha, horrible situation for you to be in. Wow. I'm genuinely just lost for words. F-Nauts activated. If you guys don't know, this is one of the most dangerous F-Nauts to have. On this railing specifically, it denies any of the entry from this walkway. A full man rush, 2 shield ops, nobody watching Waterfall except for that Warden. It doesn't matter if you turn those glasses on in time. The flash was missed, but you still give his back to him, and he manages to win the gunfight. 2 kills, but it's a trade 1 for 1. Make it 3 as Pundo fall. It'll be Zishi to find the next body, as it's just complete warfare on the side of Waterfall. Giyu threads the needle at range. The plan will go down in a 2v1 situation. Bandits running barbed wire. Will shut out the first, but now Monty finds himself playing Extendo, Go Gadget. As you know, the shield break is going to move that shield out of his way. But if he can just maneuver oh so well, then we'll find ourselves at the end of this game if Woofers can continuously just fall back off of this case. As now, Civi looks to just stick this, but he is just going to have to play Ring Around the Rosy or take the chance to just long arm it. Oh my god! What a horrible way to have the clock run out on you. 10 seconds just left for Reality to hold it out. And ladies and gentlemen, dare I say, this is the end of Nighthaven. We're going to layer with Reality flawlessly the second after losing at OT due to an illegal skin. It'll be Reality to claim the next, Civi to claim the last kill. Still can't go positive, and that's map 3 on the board. Are we serious? There is no way that they're sticking to their word. As one man likes to say, word is bond. As Reality sweep Nighthaven and take care of their opponent's home turf. What a map! 14 kills, next is Ishi's name, 2 denials, and what a game that has been. Layer coming up next. There will be a winner's interview, and we'll be back soon. Ladies and gentlemen, what have we just witnessed? Map 3 on the board. It will be Reality to have the defensive start on Layer because they have that higher round difference. This is going to be absolutely brutal. Let's take a look at the map ahead of us for the day, because Layer, not a map you want to play around with. Reality gets defense first, and if they can manage to capitalize on it, then ladies and gentlemen, this game's over. We saw what they could do when they were gifted defense first. If they just replicate what they did on Nighthaven, we are seeing the end of UltraLight's playoff run. Reality was the team to take place number 2 of their group. If I'm not mistaken, it's Group B. And in Group D, UltraLight was at 3rd with 2 losses, and none of them were going to be in OT. All 3 games were played out in regulation. And right now, they're just falling short. They were gifted 1 win. 1 win. They pulled ahead 7-6 on map 1 of Clubhouse. But from there, they won on a technicality of the illegal drone skin coming in from Twitch. And then they moved on to their home turf, where they received the biggest beating I have seen since my mom found out I ate all the cookies in the cookie jar. But as we head on to round 1 of Layer, there are things that need to be said in this game, and it's only going to be UltraLight that need to make that statement first. Attack is going to be their first idea, and the question is, are they going to be here to rise to the occasion? As now they have the mask wall to try to deny here. They have the bandit. They also have the Mira and the Tabaro as well. So they have a backup line of defense if these mask and operational walls get opened up. But it's all about the teamwork here. If we've seen the Reality that we've just seen pop up out of nowhere with their main roster, then we are going to see a completely different type of map 3. I have to say, this is the most entertaining BO3 I have watched in a while. Now, attacking from the side of the stairs, you know once you get close to these stairs, it gets risky, because now you can fall short to anybody who's spawn peeking operational or running out from the bottom. Even the long angle from Warehouse can take your face off of your shoulders. Now, as it stands, 5v5, 30 seconds off the clock, and it will be UltraLight on the attacking. We've seen they are not the best on attacking, and I mean that in the utmost respectful way. But the way they were playing, we found them falling 3 bodies to verticality even after that first man fell. The comm had to have gone out. There's no way you didn't communicate you got shot from above, but they just sent it either way. They thought he wouldn't have watched it. And that's going to become a problem, because when you get to guessing instead of playing as a team, then you will toss out rounds that are oh so essential. Hopefully, they will be here longer than the 3rd ban. But as it stands, Reality have all of the breaches closed and are just chilling here. Ace, Thermite, both taking off the board, and honestly, the only man you'd have to worry about is somebody with can openers or the blowtorch from Maverick, but he's not even going to be brought onto this roster. So the main idea is to keep these mirrors intact. Don't let the attackers walk up any stairs or isolate once, and you have the perfect defensive. Clock continuously just running out here, way below 90 seconds left on the clock. We're approaching the 70-second mark, and we are seeing no entry. They now are getting close to the site. They're directly on the rotate, but there is a Mira watching the doors walk in, and a man sitting close to watch anybody that tries to waltz in from the hallway or the rotate. These crosses can be maintained. If the teamwork can stay there and the comms stay open, and we find ourselves in a horrible situation here from UltraLight. First blood in the favor of Zishi. What the hell did you expect with the goo mine? Looks to find 2. Zishi for 2. Looks to try and build up, but now you've done enough because Finka has no more surges left, and it's just, again, the bodies dropping like flies for UltraLight as they now find 1 kill on Zishi, but not after he's taken care of your Blackbeard and your Finka. Damage dealt a lot, but not enough to take care of him. He has the C4. So does Wuffers. They have the control from display server and connector, even a man on the front lines. As they look to make matters worse, a headshot from range, even with a 1.0 scope, it's enough to do the damage, but it will be Sivy to try to reel it back in, but Giyu to kill. That'll be the first round from Reality to try and push their comeback dreams and stick to the narrative of that 2-1 comeback they said they were going to make. basement is X'd up on the chopping block for Reality because they've locked up that upstairs site. Now, they do have a zombie on the board, but they're just not going to bring her quite yet because it's not even needed. They can play this site without the zombie and find success. All that matters is they either find first blood or maintain control of filtration. Because once you allow this site to get open, the only place that you can seek refuge in is in the split between filtration and the two chassis. But once this wall gets opened, you are simply screwed. And looking at the verticality here from UltraLight, they're not messing around. Warehouse is going to be held, but very soft. No extended areas. The warehouse walls will remain soft, and Warden, it doesn't seem, will commit a shield in warehouse itself. May have it in the missile hall, and that's exactly where it will be placed. Gabe taking some damage, and I'm going to guess it's friendly fire because nobody's even in the building yet. As they now look to find entry, they're going to have their boots on the ground from the side of weapons maintenance, and they're going to look to play verticality here, but have to be aware of anybody roaming. As you now have Pund on the roam, he's going to come up from warehouse and play their sweet, sweet time. If he finds first blood here, especially on a verticality or a shield op, this round is over. In the terms of possession, in the terms of utility, if they can take care of one of these two operators, they are set for the round. All you got to do is take care of Blackbeard, Monty, or Ram. On the roam. Make it 2 as somebody is looking to assist. It's Zishi, but to remain on the top of warehouse in case of any problems. First call being used out, and I don't think any attacker has heard this yet. Civi looking to knock on the door, but completely unaware that he's playing ring around the rosy with Punda as the drones are going to roam in. They're going to look for the one man, but he's being assisted on top security. Anybody who waltzes across these two's deadly cross, then we find ourselves in a horrible situation. They're knocking on the door of sight. Verticality being established. Civi falling first, and now that will be the roaming game opened up. You've taken care of the vigil, but are you aware that there is a man just waiting to play like a rat? The breach going to be opened up quite soon, and the plant's going to be going down. Monty waltzing on in. That plant is going to be going down regardless of what we say is going to happen. He is left all by his lonesome. Unji finding another diffuser down. You cannot find with that C4. Civi building off, and that is an UltraLight round. That is the UltraLight we saw in Clubhouse as they now have taken possession of every important area of the map. Building off it, Milo find a kill. In a 5v1 situation will be the name of the game for the remainder of the round. Wuffers to avoid that very narrow flawless, but now Civi to close it out, and it will be left off at level as UltraLight find the response in their footing. They will run it right back down into the lab area. Let's see if they can play it out correctly. They lost the control of the verticality, and they even lost first blood, and I told you that was what's going to happen. If you lose the men playing on the roam, if you lose anybody that's first on the defensive, you are not in a good spot, especially on layer. It's one of those maps where if you just can't find your footing early on in the game, you're going to have a horrible time because it's just going to be a continuous game of catch-up. A kind of reiteration of what we saw in that first map. Buffers feeling like Bolo. Question is, if he connects, I'm genuinely just going to go insane. That'll get replayed for 4 rounds in and out because he might be able to take care of the Ram. Looking to get lucky here as we are just going to watch his entry. There are already boots on the ground on the other side of the map, and Wuffers looking to just hold down Warehouse. The cam remains, and the comm that they are waltzing in throughout the range is going to be sent out. The question is, what are they going to be able to do to build off of it? find ourselves in a situation where UltraLight have given themselves some hope. Last game, they couldn't find a single round in response to the continuous beatdown of reality. Let us see if they can manage and build off of what they've managed to set up for themselves this and only round. As it stands, 5v5, approaching that 1 minute 50 mark, and one man is going to be on that front line. Let's see if he'll be able to play it out correctly. Now, the verticality is being established. The hatch is being opened. C4 is going to rain on the front doorstep of the Ram, but somehow managing to save her own life by avoiding it on this strict pillar. Unji, all by his lonesome on this Blackbeard yet again. All by himself on the entry. He managed to find it last time and has managed to burn that utility off the frag grenade. The second time, he bounced the frag off of this singular pillar that he's aiming at right now to close out anybody who's sitting close. There's a C4 on him. If he can isolate this gunfight with that C4 being tossed or Oryx using that Ramaya dash, then we find ourselves in a completely different scenario. A little bit of a stalemate here. Either side looking to make something happen. GU taking first damage from verticality, but Zishi winning the gunfight on that verticality. Unji finding entry, same place, and again, you've now lost your Oryx. The plank going down, and Job's left all by his lonesome. Zishi shot in the back, hatch drop, evolved action every single place of the map. As the plant looks to go down for the second time. Spec is down to 2v2, making a 1v2. That plant's going down. 1v1, as now Milo has isolated it. 2 downs. Woofers looking to do damage control, but Milo manages to keep UltraLight in the game by clutching a 1v2. What is happening? This game has been complete cinema in and out. UltraLight with a response nobody thought was going to happen. And to set us up perfectly for our third and final ban phase, while reality will defend. And let's take a look at that one more time. I mean, you had that first man trying to get that plant down. Monty gets denied, so Milo steps up and gets that case, tries to put it down, but Woofers is doing damage control, taking care of anybody who walks into his crosshairs, but somehow Milo takes control of the insane amount of aggression from that Ella and takes care of business. I don't think he knew it was a 1v1, but if he did, you have to sit in that corner and wait until that clock fully runs out. This was potentially the best site we've seen because they've lost 2 times on lap. Mask was their best site. The way they played off the breach, the way they denied every single thing. Demira posed a big problem for UltraLight, but also not being able to open up the breaches was also another big problem. If they can find the first pick like they've been able to do, then we find ourselves in a situation where it's catch-up for reality. But again, this has been a completely different map 3 than I would have anticipated. We saw map 1 end on a technicality. The second map was reality's favorite. Now we get to that neutral zone where reality defends first, then why is it looking so different? Because they're not defending the same way we saw them on Nighthaven. You were on your opponent's turf and you swung everything and made it work. Maybe because they scrimmed on it. Maybe because they were prepared. But this is a team that slowed down. Maybe it's because Layer's just one of those maps where you have to. Very, very dynamic based on the bans now and how the other team plays. You're going to have 6 bans in total. Some operators are going to be taken care of, and you're going to need to be mindful of that. And it looks like that's what reality is taking into account. First Blood almost takes care of Zishi through the floor with that DMR. Very heavy hitting gun. He looks like he wants to get aggressive to take care of business, but again, you gotta preserve yourself. Looking to just waltz down, find First Blood. A little bit interesting. It's going to be UltraLight's striker to have the case. I mean, he does pose as the only hard breacher because he has the can openers, but what happens when he's all by his load? Walk to that side all by himself. EMP is going to take care of both electric wires, but by the time this can opener tries to explode, it will be successfully denied, even if you got that side wrong the first time. Milo looking to try to help his team out, but why wouldn't you just bring the Maverick? You had him on the board. You just needed Swiss cheese even on that wall to be able to just have some sort of control facing into the site, but just no. No, no, no. One can opener taking care of 2 AMPs as well, meaning this breach is going to be almost impossible to take care of unless you can take care of those shocks from below. Calls being evaded by these jammers, and Anji looking to try and walk in. But in the meantime, it will be put into default to Sibi's verticality. Spec falling next to the verticality yet again, and it looks like it's just going to be verticality for the rest of the round. Joel is changing that narrative, taking care of Giyu. And now, Ungi looking to persevere, looking to walk in. You have the entry on that blitz, but you're going to have to be aware of the man sitting right behind you. Joel's trying to help his team out, but Zishi is just there for that double kill. As verticality, where are your teammates? Nishi's just going to have to continue to isolate the gunfights, and Blitz misses the flash. You got to see it. When he puts his hands up, he's flashed. When he doesn't, he's not. UltraLight, now falling short. 1vx, C4, goes out, no joy. But a goo mine in 15 seconds just don't go hand in hand. Reality, looking to be the clear victors of this round, as that case is not in hand of the remaining attacker by the name of Civi. He has 75 HP and a dream left. And the question is, can he isolate these 2 gunfights? And the answer is no. It's a triple kill from Zishi. Ends out the round and evens it out 2-2. Yet again, we haven't seen a timeout in maps 2 and 3, which is honestly a little concerning considering the interesting dynamics that are at hand. It's been a continuous game of back and forth, but UltraLight still has the disadvantage in terms of rounds in the last 2 maps combined. They're currently looking at a 9-2 scoreline. This is the first time in 2 maps they've gotten rounds. They're doing well. They're managing to capitalize, and they have taken care of this site twice. If Reality win this site, then we are looking at a completely different idea of how the rest of this map will go. But surprisingly, Reality hasn't taken care of the middle floor sites. No medical, no holds, nothing. They have the Azami, they have the castle, and yet they still are going to prefer to try lab for a 3rd time. Now, it looks like they're going to be a little bit more roam heavy on the aggression, but something we haven't seen is the setup upstairs in medical, where they look to disrupt anybody going in from the L hall or from the main lobby. That's been something that's been a little bit interesting considering their entry has mainly been on shields. Their flank watch has been set up for shields. And as we say that, I mean, Caster's Curse apparently, because Love just sets up here in medical and is now going to be planted alongside with Zishi. 3. Jaeger comes up to help out as well, and now this is going to be a very roam-heavy play here from Reality because they just need to take care of the shield ops or the verticality. We talked about it before. The problem they pose, the amount of control they can take, and the entry they have is just insane to try to deny, but when it gets to that site, you need to be able to try to take it a step before they get to the site, or you're going to be looking at a very utility-heavy execute. We've seen twice now UltraLight have just forced it away into the site and tried to get that plant down. First blood, Love will take care of 1 man. Blitz, 2nd man, Ram. Now he's done everything a roamer needs to do, and the issue makes matters worse and takes care of Civi. 5v2, and that's the reality you remember from Nighthaven, as they have now forced 3 casualties in 20 seconds, as they now look to get more aggressive on the rope. 1 P9 bullet lands on Napunda, but that's about it, as Milo's left all by his lonesome upstairs. Case loose, 90 seconds left on the clock, and he is forced to try to dissect the flawless round. If he can take care of Zishi, then that flawless round is going to be gone. But the fact is, you're going to be starved out of rounds, as now these attackers are going to fall 1 by 1, and Milo just doesn't know where to aim. So many players trying to flank, and it will be a lot to take care of you. And that'll be a triple from him to put us at a 3-2 advantage for Reality. One more round that they will be on the defensive before they will switch. there you go. I mean, you kind of have to go here after you've lost it 3 times. Or no, I apologize. They didn't lose it 3 times. They're going here because they've had too much success. First time they've won lab, and they will switch it up and play on the mid floor. Now, the way it's played out here, it's very, very important that you play as a team, because once you leave this site and you allow it to be dissected one by one, whether it's from that external tunnel way or from verticality, then you're going to have a problem. Reefing is not one of those sites where you can mess around. Right now, they've brought the external, they've brought the castle, and they've brought the verticality operators. They've even brought the smoke as well. So, see how they'll play it out, because it is very, very imperative that they play as a team. If they walk out of this 3-3, it's not going to look too well on attack, but some teams do attack better on layer than they do defend. And it looks like UltraLight's going to have to hope they defend. Now, something also about this site, it's always important who gets first blood. A rush looks to be on our hands here, as they look to set up, and now will dissipate and look to play upstairs. EMP sent out again, and Milo, it happened the first time. Why not just bring the damn Maverick? Your hard breaches don't detonate in time, and this is the second time it's happened. 1 can opener burned, and 1 EMP as well. Or was it 2? He's lost both EMPs, he only has 1 can opener. And that is going to be a problem for your later round executes. A minute burned off the clock, and now these attackers need to be able to build around the fact that you can't have that breach open. Attacker's Bullet Shock is going to have this bandit left at 100 HP, but immobilized for a second. Gas looks to get aggressive, but that's kind of what happens when you walk into the receiving end of a DMR. 3 bullets is enough to take care of the castle, and that's first blood in the favor of UltraLight. Looking to change that narrative for the switch. They want something to work out here, and this is the round where that happens. If they can make this one miracle, they can have a very balanced defensive start here if they can just play like a team and play together. But Civi gets beamed down to 50 HP and looks to meet his maker soon enough, but will take his time to reset, throw down, and look to take his sweet old time. But easy for Civi, as I thought that was going to be a one-tap. He just went down to 50 HP, but that's all the damage he'll take, as he will execute Wuffers in cold blood. Frag Grenade will deal some damage to Punda's now entry, but Punda will prevail, as how do you just lose that? Essential amounts of pressure taken care of, and now you're going to have to worry about that phantom pressure from the Blitz. He doesn't even have to be aimed in. His presence is enough to push these defenders to make stupid decisions. But now, Civi taking care of the place where Joel's once was, and it will now be the same pressure that they will apply. Smoke, entry, easy. Milo is going to be watching the cross, Civi watching the medicals cross as well, and they are going to pose a big, big threat. The flash is going to rain in, but you still are not mindful of verticality. That's the second time in 2 maps they have done that. But somehow, Spec finds himself in the middle of the site and walks back out. Interesting. The plant looks to go down. No verticality will be established, but it will be Punda to get stuck on the drop, and Zishi left in a 1v3 situation. Deletes the first, but Milo prevails as he plant down for the second time. Tries to plant, gets it down, and deletes whoever tries to walk into his crosshairs. As we find ourselves in another situation at a 3-3 where Reality have now given up the lead, and UltraLight need to be able to build off of the momentum they've been gifted. The ban's raining in. Now, UltraLight, they know Reality can play shield ops quite well. I mean, sometimes we've seen some quite interesting entry from Reality, especially with Punda on Clubhouse Blackbeard. He got first pick twice. But apparently, it's enough of an issue where they need to take care of both of the shield ops, especially on a map like Layer. Mira and Clash will both fall, meaning hard breachers and wall denials will all remain intact. So that is going to be quite an interesting way to show us how they will play. I'm quite intrigued to see how Reality plays this out, because you don't have the shields for entry, meaning you're going to have to rely on an Ash or a Buck for the spearhead of your attack, and that's exactly what they'll do. You're also going to have the breaches open. If it doesn't get bandit tricked, this is going to be a round where you need to rely on your gun skill. Now, let's take a look at these documents. I mean, all it's saying is we might go to OT here, the way it's back and forth, but UltraLight have the ability to change. You've now been gifted the defensive as you've been the ones playing the continuous catch-up against these players. If you can find your footing and take this round to go up in the lead, you will have the advantage, and you will have a very realistic possibility to end this game out in regulation and eliminate Reality from the playoffs. If not, Reality's a hungry team. They still maintain the possession for most rounds won in the last 2 maps. Entry from Punda. Beautiful. Blackbeard, no need. Deletes the man on Blitz. P9 is enough to get, or apologies, P12 is enough to get the job done, as he'll take care of Jones. And those Fenrirs, wherever they've been activated, it will remain the same for the remainder of the round. So, 3-3 is the split, and the way of life is these breaches are going to get open. No verticality, as now you need to redirect all of your sources and forces all the way back up to the site. By forces and sources, I mean your utility and your bodies need to be on the main floor. You have one C4, and it's the man that tries to wall deny, and he's going to do it successfully, as it will be successfully tricked off, but not in time for that thermite on your back. No Salmos will remain, meaning no entry into operational. No cannon. C4 thrown out, wasted. That's the only one left on the clock. That is just going to be 2 smoke canisters from Spec to deny the planters. Maybe even a Gumine if he's feeling lucky. Unaware to how many Vulcans will remain on this site, they will have none to face the defaults. The case handoff, looking to give it to the Thermite, as now he does have an exothermic in hand, and as long as they watch the coverage, they will have easy access. Zishi just needs to watch that cross, because if a flank happens, say goodbye to any form of cohesiveness. Legion, putting his team up. Now, 4v4. He's given them that hope that's needed, but he's also 28-3, meaning he needs to back up, and that's exactly what he'll do. Aware. Skin is going to get called out here, as now we find ourselves in a 3-3 tie. But the man advantage is in favor of Reality as they look to advance towards the site, putting it for another kill. As Ungi is still left below 20 HP, and the execute looks to go down. Affected by the Gumine, knocking on the door of each and every one of these defenders. Puna for 3 on the shield. I've never seen a man so lethal on a pistol. As he looks to claim his 4th victim, he'll connect! There's no way! Punda, the absolute demon, deletes anybody in his sights, as he is too fired up to care about the skins. His team goes up 4-3, and he deletes 4 people in a row. I mean, come on. He had a Gumine in him. You could have just swung him. He had the Gumine in him. You did swing him, and you lost. You even lost to a wall bag with a P12. 4 kills to 1 man. He's your entry. No Ash needed, as Reality are starting to make it a reality for an easy 2-1 win if they can continue to play with that same level of velocity coming into attack. First round is a statement. Mask, yet again, it's been such a big problem because you've had to pick between operational and mask every single round. And from there, it has been either side to really struggle with it. The question is, what are they going to be able to do to try and build off of it? Because once you find yourselves trying to deny each and every one of these breaches with EMPs getting tossed out from either side, it'll become a problem. Entry from Puna is going to be left a little bit shorter here, as that F-Naught is going to affect him. It's put on a troublesome spot, as you cannot walk down without having to look all the way up to find it. But as it is shot out eventually, he's now just going to have to worry about the Vulcan and the C4 that's preset. If I'm not mistaken, he shot it. Will take 1 tick of damage from the Vulcan canister, but has denied so much utility already so fast. A minute in, and now they're just going to be looking to just find the walls and build up to the attack. Milo still has plenty forms of utility left, but he's backed up into a corner, meaning he is going to have to pick what to deny. Both breach getting opened up at once. It's going to happen successfully, but it might set up your teammate for a bad spot. Milo, you're put in a horrible spot. You may be able to take one with you, but wow, what a play. He was just there to capitalize. That could have been really bad if he decided to just get up and say, screw it. That'll be first blood in favor of Reality yet again as they are knocking on the door of UltraLight's defensive, and it is just always working out here in the terms of entry. So much utility burn. I think the comm's gone out here that he has the glasses on, but Punda just doesn't matter. The man is disgusting on that pistol. Gets double teamed. 2 down. The third is going to be coming in from the front desk trying to deny the plant, but it's already down. You guys just need to play a game of keep away from this case, and it's easy pickings one-on-one. Goyo looking to isolate the gunfights. That'll be a down all the way in the depths of operational. Wolfers cannot take his eyes off of this case, meaning it'll be a 2v3. Make it a 2v2 with that DPNO. 3v2. But finished off. Puts us right back up at level. 2v2 with a 10-second, 20-second left on the clock here. And if they can continuously just play off of each other and dribble these two defenders around, then we're going to find ourselves in a 5-3 Reality situation where it's just a castle all by himself in sight. And a triple kill from Wolfers puts us up ahead. 2 rounds in the favor of Reality, and it looks like their dream of coming back to 1 is starting to become very, very realistic. What a game this has been, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams really trying to battle it out here. But this man on Blitz genuinely just looks like John Wick to me. Absolutely lethal on the entry. Denies F-Naughts, takes care of any C4s, burns Volcans, and after all of that, takes a bit of damage and still manages to take care of a Warden with his glasses on. Make it make sense. It's absolutely admirable the way he has been leading his team. Not even in kills, just on entry. Leaving filtration one side soft because they don't have that mirror as well. Usually you can put a mirror on them. That's going to be a little bit of a risky play here. Now, they have prioritized the Habana because the hatches will definitely be reinforced. Can openers is going to be enough for the job. Habana's overkill, but it gets the job done. So they'll bring her instead. Entry. Puna, boots on the ground, is already looking to knock on the door of these players. I mean, he looks like he's going to take the complete overview of this map as he is flirting with that second floor and his shield in hand. As now Spec has put himself in a little bit of a horrible spot. Lands 1-2 bullets, looking to shoot the side of Puna. He can't sprint at him, but the flash will connect, and that's an easy kill as he will find first blood for the 3rd round in a row. Think of that. Not 3rd, but 2nd. He's managed to get 1 2 rounds ago and 1 this round, and it was, if I'm not mistaken, Gayu to find the 1 last round. Looking to knock on the door of Warehouse. He is just going crazy. He just wants his easy pickings. Hatch is getting open. It's a little bit of a different play here. Their boots on the ground didn't come in from the shooting range in the main lobby. They started from the complete top, which we saw UltraLight try to do, but they started from the top floor and then worked their way down with only 2 players. The fact that they fully committed this is completely the reason they've managed to take care of that Vigil oh so fast. Now, verticality being established alongside with the hatches dropping as well, and they now look to knock on the door of sight. With 90 seconds left on the clock and a man advantage in hand, they can take their time to just drone out, find the utility, and execute upon it. Live pings. The man trapped all the way deep in the connector, but the smoke canister preset in the Volcan canister as well. Punda, why is nobody watching the cross? Flash not affecting, but he'll find the kill with the headshot instead. I genuinely never seen a man so lethal with a pistol! Double kill of a pre-fire. The question is, can he find the 3rd? Turns away at the last second with that C4, but it just won't even be able to be utilized in enough time. The plant will go down successfully. 2 rounds in a row, 3 rounds in a row. Plant goes down successfully, and Punda for 3 successfully will continue his terror reign. I mean, have you seen anybody so lethal on the pistol? Walks in, ignores the Volcan canister, utilizes it, deletes 1. That is enough for you to do because you found 2 upstairs and a pre-fire with your pistol to make it 3 and find the 4th as the last kill. It's absolutely lethal and completely undeniable to say he's the GOAT on Blitz. I don't think I've ever seen anybody. I don't know. I'm speechless. I've never seen anybody so effective on Blitz before. The potential last round of the series as Reality pull ahead to 6-3. Yet again, with the highest round one in the last 2 maps. UltraLight have 3 rounds in combination of Nighthaven and Layer, and that's a problem that you need to address. It looks like you guys were trying to play it close as you were on a 3-3 split. But Reality just attack better than they do on defense. They just attack way better. They're coordinated. They're here. You have a man on entry who's now playing Fuse, looking to change it up, and if he manages to lose this round, then we can just say that he has been the difference maker of today. Spec on a full roam. They brought the castle for the lap play, and this is going to be quite interesting to see how they play it out. The hell is this? First blood is going to go in the favor, taking care of Mr. Entry Man, as Civi takes care of one headshot and the second to down. Is she giving that second chance at life as they'll just be going for a warehouse push? A little bit different, but they're switching it up, and this may work if they can watch that flank watch, because Spec is on the roam and might be a problem because, never mind, he's on the second floor, just, you know, having the time of his life. They can address missile or walk into showers before they realize that this is a rush, then we find ourselves in another attacker-dominated side from showers. Line scans. Beam on out, meaning if he tries to seek refuge in sight, or no, he'll just move. They now know there's somebody off of sight. It's a 4v5. The bodies are even. He looks to address head on. Wuffers knows. No way you managed to miss out with that shotgun, but Milo doesn't make that mistake as he'll manage to hit one down to 20 HP and kill a second. As now this is a round where UltraLight look to capitalize off. They look to close down that difference to make it 6-4. But now you need to be able to maintain your bodies. As now, Spec is slowly making his way down to that warehouse flank. It's all about the time, and it's all about who can get this next kill. Looking to just check out each and every corner. Now clearing nobody in missile. They know there has to be a man sitting close, right? Because that is the way that this area is played out here. Wuffers on the front line, looking to address this head on. He's heard the quick shuffle. There's a flash, but there's a man sitting far as well. You need to be able to play like a team. You missed him. Milo is going to fall. An easy walk in here for the Buck. Manages to kill 2. No way he'll let him find the 3rd. And that will be Wuffers, who is given a second chance at life here. One man on the verticality, and now it is a 2v1 situation. So now the audio is baited out from the res, and now there's a 1-minute buffer left for these 2 defenders, or these 2 attackers, my mistake, to try to find something. They're at 20 HP, they gotta be mindful. Hopefully the drone is locating the man sitting upstairs, because there is one sitting directly on his head. The clock continuously running down, and there's gonna be a time where you're just gonna have to say, we gotta send it. But they do have the drone utility. It's been Reality who has managed to clean up their drone econ. But it doesn't matter if that MP7 and UMP combine to just go full spray and take care of the entry. But Wuffers just find himself in the middle of sight, but it'll be Civi to come back and haunt the entry as he'll take care of the last body and then close out the deficit to 2. Now, I want to direct your attention onto something very, very specific. The fact that we haven't seen a timeout on this map has been utterly insane to me. As UltraLight's continuously playing a game of catch-up now, they were the ones that were the ones... Wow, holy word twist. They were the ones that had the insane lead previously. But now that you find yourselves trailing, why not just call a timeout and talk about what needs to be done differently? Apparently not. But as they'll be playing it out, they have the ability to bring it back. All they have to do is play as a team, build up the attack, and just waltz on in. But that's if they go to OT. They have to realize that they're on the defensive now. Their attacks aren't as coordinated as their defensive. I think UltraLight's defensive is 10 times better, but it's all about how you present it to us. Because the way we've been seeing them play, they kind of just rush in on waves. You lose entry to a man playing Blitz who hasn't managed to do it in 2 rounds, which make it make sense, but you're gifted that holy grail of him not playing Blitz. Build on it. That last round, Civi found 2 kills. Beautiful on entry. You took 1 man down to a DBNO, and you finished the next off a headshot. If you can just build off of that, then an OT is oh so possible. First Volcan will be popped as Twitch is popped 2 now, actually. Looking to advance towards the site and clear out any form of utility. Shooting at the Pest and trying, but unaware that there's 2. Mozzie now has 4 Pests in total, so he can go a little bit crazy with those double placements. The F2 has received a little bit of a recoil buff, meaning a little bit easier to use on PC, and we've been seeing it a little bit more in the NAL and here, T4. I mean, big difference. NAL, T4, there's no big difference. It's the same thing. Don't quote me on that. I am very obviously joking. Entry, Access Kunda first on the front lines, and it looks like they're just going to try to set up the attack here. Now, they have impacts and C4s to deal with. Previously, UltraLight only had 1 C4. Spec will use his impact, but at the cost of his life, as now 1 shield in the hands of Punda, and he's just going to wait until those breaches get open. As the Volcans, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 3 of them have been fried out. 1 will remain, and the question is, if it's not on the breach, what the hell are these guys going to be able to do? As now, you have a Bandit on the board with 2 electric wires in hand, but he's going to have to choose between the operational and the mask wall. Looking like he has made his choice. The Tabaro Zoto canisters flexed it out here, but the Tabaro is definitely going to be that difference maker. The game of Bring Around the Rosies, he should have fallen next, meaning it'll be leveled out here, and now they're going to have to be able to improvise. No easy access, as now the Exothermics and Selmos will all fall to the hands of the Zotos from Jolves. Below a minute left. It's going to be a very, very gunfight-eccentric round. We have 8 bodies left in total, and the defenders managing to pull out ahead in the terms of utility. The question is, can they hold on to it from the heavy attacks of Reality? Because we know how coordinated Reality is when it comes to execute. But when it comes to gunfights, they usually like to start lacking. UL, all you have to do is run at the clock. You still have goo mines regenerating in 3 C4s. You've even reinforced off the singular wall that you were gifted on end. Unji is now located on the flank and is forced back down, but he has a C4 for the verticality, so he could just stay down there. And that last Volcan being popped out is going to burn until the last of the round. Love finding the next. Punda makes it a 4v2. 10 seconds left. No way you managed to toss this. 4v4, 8 bodies, and 3 of them drop with, no time left on the clock. The plant looking to go down here. The cross being held, and it will be Woofers to end out the game. Say GG's. And congratulations, as it was Reality to make the dream come true, as they made it a reality. They came back from map 1's technicality, 7-0 and 7-0, 14 rounds, won and only 4 lost. What a game that was. What a game that was. Beautiful from either side, ladies and gentlemen. And honestly, I have nothing to say but well played from either side. I mean, Unks versus Unks, and they managed to not disappoint. Wow. I thought we were going to OT, and I thought I was going to lose my voice, and I feel like I'm going to lose my voice. If you guys are enjoying this, make sure to leave a follow. Check out the other socials, and always send me a DM if you have feedback for me. I'm always looking for DMs to try to help me get better at casting and the production style of things. We will be back either in 2 minutes to see if we have an interview for you, or we will be ending the stream. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see if we will be right back. All right, just give me a test here. Speak. I don't think that is working. Let me see. All right, one more.
Hello, test.
There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we now have Tax Mob. You want to tell us your gamer tag here for the viewers who don't know who you are?
Maovi.
The GOAT himself. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to say a clear congratulations to these guys. They said they were going to pull ahead to 2-1, and it's exactly what they did. So I just have a couple of questions here for you today. So how did you feel when you guys lost on that technicality that forced you guys to lose that first map?
I mean, that was a joke, bro. If they wanted it that bad, they got it. Then we just won the other two, like we would have won the first.
So when it came to Nighthaven Labs, I mean, we saw you guys on Clubhouse. We saw the patience that you guys were playing on your own home turf. What was the sudden change that took you guys to your opponent's map, which was Nighthaven, to just start flying at them full speed and swing everything to be able to just 7-0 them? Was there a specific calm to that, or did you guys just reset and just go for it?
They fucking reported us for having an illegal skin, so we were like, all right, we're just swinging these kids, and we got our main roster too. We had a sub in before.
I did see that sub in. That was Wuffers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was busy playing Roblox. He couldn't play map 1.
So with that third map as well, I saw you guys continuously try to put that plant down or try to deny the plants coming in from UltraLight. Was there a specific comm that you guys were giving each other on those plants? Because I saw how Milo managed to cancel his plant, get up, deny the man from the split, turn around, and delete Wuffers from the lobby. Before you guys even called a timeout, was there any mental resets that you guys had? Do you have any words to speak about how you wanted to change the play of style when you got to that 4 or 5 area of the game?
I mean, honestly, no. We were just kind of floating. We knew we were going to win.
You know what, man? That is the perfect way to say anything. You have any final thoughts for us here?
Hey, man, appreciate you casting, bro.
I got you, man. It's my pleasure. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great time to go play against F5 Esports. I shall be casting that.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to follow, subscribe if you're feeling naughty. I have been your caster, and I am definitely going to lose my voice by the end of the night. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey, man, appreciate you. I'm going to head out.